Dr. Jean Bourgeois is the Provost and Vice President of Academic Affairs at Texas State University, and we're delighted to be on his grounds. So I thought it would be appropriate that he would come over and share a few moments, message with us about what's going on at the university and why he's letting us be here and all those things. So please give it up for Dr. Bourgeois.
Yeah, I don't think I need to kind of belabor the point. If you see a last name like Bourgeois and Tenneco, okay, so I know the home grounds of Tenneco. One of my younger brothers worked for Tenneco back in the early 80s after getting a petty degree from LSU. So you kind of know where I'm from. Go Tigers. I'm from New Orleans, from Louisiana, but I've been here since 1990. Decided after doing a PhD at Cambridge, and I'm in a different field than you all, I'm in history, but landed at Southwest Texas State back in 1990. And I'm going to speak about what's going on a little bit, especially out here at Starr Park. But what struck me back in 1990, even as a historian, was that the university was really on the verge of breaking out and becoming something a lot bigger than what it was and what people perceived it to be. And one of those things was actually a spirit of entrepreneurialism, believe it or not. I saw it in President Jerome Supple, who arrived from the north, from New York, and became president in 1988-89. But what it was a university that was basically opening up its arms to faculty members, including junior faculty like me, who were willing to experiment and to break down boundaries. And ever since then, I have not seen anything to dissuade me about really the kind of mission of Texas State, which is basically to go outside of traditional academic boundaries and to build interdisciplinary research and especially applied research. So keep that in mind as I go through a little bit of a script in terms of what we're doing right now. Well, as Andre said, I'm the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, which means at Texas State that basically all faculty, all academic programs, all academic units, and actually research as well as a host of other things, technically reports up to the Provost. At many other universities, Walt Horton, who is our Chief Research Officer, would actually be a separate VP. At Texas State, because we're trying to integrate things richly between all faculty, all departments, and research, he reports up to me, and we make sure that we integrate all research activities very well throughout everything that we're doing. I want to thank Andres and CMG Consulting for allowing us to actually co-host this, which I think is a first for Texas State University. Well, I think, as you all know, that this summit assembles national thought leaders, you, in smart cities, infrastructure, and buildings, and it's very timely. 3 years ago, we embarked on a creation of a new civil engineering degree program. It's going to embrace multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary work that will meld together what we're doing technically in civil, but also in electrical engineering, industrial engineering, a little bit of manufacturing engineering, and a little crossover with software engineering out of our computer science department. We have successfully hired our core faculty team this fall that will start, and we will have our first class of engineering students in the fall of 2019. After a very short window, by the way, of being able to market the program. We just got approval for this literally a few weeks ago. From its inception, we have tried to take the approach that we need to train the next generation of civil engineers and leadership in infrastructure engineering, moving beyond what we would call traditional civil engineering thought and planning and training, so that our civil engineers will incorporate the latest in technology-enhanced infrastructure design. You will hear a little bit more about that. You'll have a chance more to interact with John and Walt, and they will explain a little bit more what we see in terms of that. But we think this is one of only maybe 3 now civil engineering programs in the United States. Another one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, and one kind of in between right and left, right here in San Marcos, Texas. We intend to fully embrace technology-enhanced infrastructure by ensuring that our students and the faculty who are training them and our industrial partners are completely embedding sensors and other technology enhancements in all aspects of infrastructure that our students will be trained in. We have a unique opportunity at Texas State to mold a program that's very relevant in addressing what we consider to be some of society's highest and most compelling needs. We think that a Starr Park asset that we have here is going to be a very unique, what I would call a living, learning, field-based laboratory for the civil engineering faculty, staff, and students, and hopefully more industrial partners. So you're meeting in Star 1, which was the anchor facility out here at Star Park. It's 36,000 square feet. Obviously, right down the hallway, we have a number of companies that are being incubated, and some of them are ready. Some have already moved out. Some are ready to move on in what we hope will be another building that will be constructed at basically across what will now be a new entrance to Star Park at the other end of this building. We're in the throes of getting approval from our coordinating board and our Board of Regents for building out what we are considering to be a multi-tenant building. This will be a P3 partnership, and we are hoping that not only will it allow us to place some of our graduates from the incubator here, but we'll be able to actually invite some other partners to do work with Texas State University and other firms located not only in Star Park, but in the region. Over the next 20 years, we have a master plan basically for Star Park that will see us build out about 600,000 square feet of research, lab, R&D, and other kinds of footage. We expect a number of those properties, again, to be P3 built properties, where we're trying to leverage what you all and your partners bring to the table in terms of informing what civil engineering and technology-enhanced infrastructure build-outs should be. So, in fact, today's Wednesday, so Friday morning, I'll give a presentation to our Board of Regents who are meeting here in San Marcos. It will include a 5-minute video about the Texas Innovation Corridor that San Marcos is right smack in the middle of. You go all the way from Georgetown, Texas, through Round Rock, where we have another campus, Austin, through San Marcos, and down to Southside San Antonio, and you're in the midst, basically, of the United States emerging next major corridor that we're framing as the Texas Innovation Corridor. That Board of Regents video will also be introduced by way of this civil engineering degree program. We are really trying to frame what we're doing in engineering and other disciplines is basically helping to lead the state of Texas and also the United States forward in engineering principles. If you think about the road that's going to be built in front of the next building, the multi-tenant building, if you think about the multi-tenant building, if you think about the research laboratory that we're also going to build, technically a real research laboratory, I would say, John, an old-fashioned research laboratory, more or less, that we're calling the Infrastructure Research Lab, basically at the end of a little circular area over there. And then the rest of that 600,000 square feet. What opportunities do you think we see in terms of the roadbed, the water, the infrastructure, the utility lines, the communications infrastructure? What do you think we can train these engineering students to do in building out what will basically be a pilot smart neighborhood? That's what this place is going to be, a smart neighborhood that will be a research and development park. We see that basically playing into our strengths. We are a university, as I started my comments, that is rich in applied and entrepreneurial aspects of research. I don't care what the discipline is. Even in an old traditional discipline like mine, which is history, we actually emphasize applied historical research. You may be familiar with it when you go to a museum, or if you visit an archives, if you watch something by Ken Burns, a documentary about baseball or anything like that. That's applied historical research. Our engineers live applied research. Our sociologists, our psychologists, our cancer researchers, we're all basically focused on what are the real world problems and how can Texas State's applied research deliver solutions to those problems. I think here you're just in a place where we see an even better chance, actually, to do what we do best, and that is apply our engineering and other related disciplines research to building out a smart neighborhood, and Star 1 is the anchor building in that. So again, I want to welcome you. Thank you guys for letting us host or co-host with you. And I can be around for a few minutes afterwards, but I'm actually going off to host a meeting about enrollment management at Texas State University. You may know that we've been rapidly growing in the last few years. How many of you are familiar with Southwest Texas State University? Okay, so way back in those days, we had 15,000, 18,000 students. You know, we're approaching 40,000 students now, and we have over 2,000 faculty, There are a number of new PhD and master's programs that are online and coming online, including another one that relates to this build out here, which is a program in applied computer science. So this is not the SWT that I came to back in 1990. This is not your grandfather's old SWT. This is the Texas state of the 21st century, and we intend to be a major player in building out and helping develop economically this entire region. So thank you very much.